Hey everybody, I'm Ruzel, and I still don't have an intro. But what I do have is debt over a gas station hot dog that will be taking 50 points off my credit score in the next couple months. And did you know that you could finance a processed meat tube for like 4 installments? Just four easy payments over 4 months? You probably have because we live in a nightmare world. And if you happen to be alive right now, I got some great news. You can go to your local 7-Eleven and you can download Klarna and you can finance your hot dog today. You can do this right away. It's super easy. Fucking just scan the QR code. That's like a rune made by a demon that just tricks you into wasting money. But yeah, anyone can put themselves in micro debt for like instant low tier slop nowadays, which is awesome. And the gas station hot dog just is the example and the really big thing coming to mind because I saw this. I saw this at a 7-Eleven, my local 7-Eleven. I'm just doing business in there, whatever. And I see on top of the sneeze guard for the hot dogs, there's a little ad for Klarna and a QR code where you can finance whatever it is you're buying at the gas station. In this case, for me, it was a cheese infused gas station Glizzy. All it did was cost me 4 payments at an 8% interest and a tiny little piece of my soul. Just a little speck, a little scrape off the top. I won't miss it. I don't need it. I got a big soul. It'll just, they can have a little piece of that. It's fine. It's not an issue at all. And I was actually just like so happy that I had this option. That, like I was so like just in love with the idea of downloading Klarna in this 7-Eleven and financing the hot dog that like I swear to God for a second I saw this silicone demon in the form of the Chase Bank logo just like kind of hover over the hot dog for a second. I'm like, "Whoa. Oh my god." And that's when I knew I needed to do this like immediately. So, yeah, downloaded Klarna. I started thinking as I was doing that, putting in my information, I'm looking over my shoulder to make sure that there's nobody walking past me in the 7-Eleven, like seeing that I'm downloading Klarna and then I scan the QR code on the sneeze guard because that would be like that's social suicide 100%. I would lose my mind if the clerk or anybody saw me doing that. I just don't know. I don't know how I'd react. I'd lose it. It'd be like spiritual seppuku right there. I'd be pulling my fucking intestines out inside of that 7-Eleven if anyone saw me doing this. Thankfully, the coast was clear. Nobody saw me doing that, and I was good to go. And so I got my hot dog. I committed myself to financial and digital bondage to my silicone overlord that was Klarna for the next 4 months. Not even the fun kind of bondage either, like financial dom, where you just give them money and they call you pathetic and you're just supposed to get off to that. That's basically what I was doing to myself for this process beat tube. So I got into my car. Or sorry, I buy the hot dog. I'm walking out with my hot dog, and I'm gonna eat the hot dog in my car because I'm a loser. That's just how it is. And I couldn't think of any other way to more degrade myself than eating this in my car right in front of the gas station so I could really take in that 21st century experience. Just so I could know what it was like being alive right now. And that spiral of that spiritual spiral of modern day existence. And so when I was hogging down that meat tube, I started to think about like how much lower can I get? Like how much more of a pig in the trough can I be right now than eating this financed hot dog inside my car in front of the 7-Eleven? And I was having a pretty hard time coming up with anything worse than this. Like I'm sure there are some things, but in the moment I couldn't do it. I could not think of something worse. And so using my monkey brain, I just did the natural thing, which is like mimicry, you know? Human mimicry. What's worse if you've got one thing that's really bad, what is worse than that one thing that's really bad? It would be two of those things that are really bad. So I decided that I was gonna, once I finished that hot dog and I realized I was hungry for another hot dog, that I needed to continue this embarrassment and this humiliation ritual by going back into the 7-Eleven and buying another one. And that's exactly what I did. I probably I didn't check the mirror. I probably should have looked at my car mirror to make sure I didn't have like ketchup smuts and hot dog juice on my fucking collar. I probably did. And the clerk probably saw it, and they probably saw me buy the first hot dog, and then they probably saw me come in and buy another hot dog, and you know, I bet then they told their coworker later that day of this absolute freak that didn't just buy two hot dogs in one go. He came in again. He made the decision to only have one hot dog, and then he decided he was gonna get another hot dog. Oh my god, it was horrible. I was totally right. That was worse than the one hot dog, was going in there doing it again. I didn't even buy the second hot dog on Klarna because I didn't feel like having two fucking meat tubes on my finance wish list or whatever. I don't even know what that would have done for my like targeted ads or whatever the hell goes on my phone and social media. Like if I they would it would have been a curveball for the algorithm that tells me what I'm supposed to like and shit like that. So that was horrible. And it was really weird. The 7-Eleven had one of those like self-checkouts. I didn't realize gas stations were so uppity now that they have their own self-checkouts, but it did save my life because I could not have brought myself physically to get in front of the cashier buying the second hot dog after I had left the gas station and ate the first one. And having, if I had to look the clerk in their eyes and buy that hot dog and maybe do a little bit of small talk, I would have puked on myself. I would have 100% vomited the first hot dog back out either onto myself or onto the checkout area or maybe even onto the clerk. It would have been horrible. The moment we would have locked eyes and he tried to do like some small talk or ask me if like, oh, you like the hot dog? Vomit. I would have fucking puked all over the place. It would have been horrible. I probably would have dropped the hot dog or just like fucking ran out the store in embarrassment. Something. It would have been terrible. It would have been horrible. It would have been just the worst. But luckily, that self-checkout, that clanker, he was there for me. And I didn't have to acknowledge that the clerk was even there, even though he totally fucking knew that I was going in for a second Glizzy. At least the second one wasn't financed. You know what? That's actually cope. I'm coping. If he knew that I downloaded Klarna for the first hot dog, then it's reasonable to just assume that the second hot dog was also purchased on Klarna. So there's no reason for me to even... He's just... The clerk just assumed. Fuck. Oh. Fuck. Yeah, he probably just assumed. If they knew in the first place that I downloaded the Klarna, which I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know how much they were paying attention to me. I was terrified. So that was... Yeah, that was that. That was my experience of the 7-Eleven and the spiritual crisis I had realizing that you can finance glizzies and other low-effort, instant gratification bullshit like, you know, pizzas from Papa John's. You could probably finance your pizza. You know, all sorts of stuff. The method of payment that was usually for, like, cars and expensive appliances and homes. You just do that for fucking perishables. I recommend it. If you really like, if you have social anxiety and you want to get over your social anxiety, go finance a hot dog at your 7-Eleven. It'll help. It'll make you realize that rock bottom is real. Is real. But it, I mean, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, what a time to be alive. 21st century. We've got this overabundance of food. You got you got hot dogs. You can get like milkshakes with a machine that like makes the milkshake there at the gas station too. Sometimes they have sushi if it's like a nicer one. That's fucking crazy. Sushi? That's just like isn't that like a luxury food? Wasn't that something that like royalty ate in Japan? Like that wasn't just like some random schmuck would be eating sushi. I'm pretty sure that was like royal food. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't quote me on that. And so I got to thinking. I'm thinking right now if I compared my experience with 7-Eleven to like 99.9% of all of human history in relation to how food would be made and ate and processed and like seasoned, am I actually like a completely ungrateful piece of shit lunatic for even thinking like this? We've got an overabundance of life-sustaining food right there in front of me that I can just have for free, quote unquote, today with a social contract that I would pay them back later. That I'd pay back my silicone overlords later. Fuck. You know what? I'm sorry, Bill Gates. You're right. Bill Gates is right. I should be the cloned meat. I should be fucking thankful that we have the ability to do that, and I can partake in cloned human dumpling flesh, or whatever it is they make nowadays out there. And I'm sitting here bitching about being able to have food. There's probably nations, there's probably countries in that used to exist that collapsed because they were unable to give life-sustaining food with any sort of social contract for their citizens. And so the whole fucking nation state just disintegrated and disappeared into history and is lost. And I'm sitting here complaining that I have to go talk to a clerk over a second hot dog. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got going on right now, so I'll see you guys. Bye.